All right, welcome to part 2 of the 890 build. Part 1 was the teardown. Now we're actually going to start putting on some new parts. I will apologize in advance. I know the camera angle is too high. I didn't notice it right away. So the video does get better in the future. I'm not sure where, but it gets better, I promise. So let's get to the build, starting with the fuel cap. Sweet. First piece of bling done. Here's some race bolt front brake caliper titanium bolts from my sponsor Motor D, which are lighter and stronger than the stock bolts, and they're also pre-drilled for safety wiring, which is required for racing. Let's throw this guy on. KTM power port, required in racing. When you're going handlebar to handlebar with somebody, make sure accidental lever taps are not happening. Do it there. Easy. I know y'all want to do the fun stuff. I'm doing the easy stuff. Deal with it. These aren't even the grips I'm going to run, but we're putting these on because they're sick. Kind of look factory up in here, even though we're not. When these dirty mechanics, aka me, are working on the bike. You're cooking with grease now. Let's stay on the handlebar. Let's do the remote Brembo master cylinder adjuster. Once I get the right adapters here, that'll be gone. So I can more easily do that while riding. Okay. All right, long story short, we'll skip through this part. This did not get completed, but I'll talk more about that later in the video. Now, the whole reason we put these on race bikes is when you're lapping around a circuit, your brake pads and your braking fluid heats up, and it makes the front brake lever a little squishy and inconsistent. So this allows you to spin the wheel on the left side of the bike, pull the lever back out, try and regain some of that firmness in the braking lever as your race progresses. Okay, lay vehicle on its side. No, I'm not doing that. You know, it said place it on its side, but like maybe for oil, but it's a stator cover, so there shouldn't be oil, right? Check engine oil level, add if necessary. Oh my gosh. I swear, if oil comes out of this, not that I really care, but because I'm going to change the oil in this anyway, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, no oil, sweet. Oh yeah, look at that. Dude, stop dripping, bro. Please. You know what? In you go. They make two different versions of this, I believe. Ah. Why? Why? Oh my god. I hate whatever. One that looks like the other side with a little bit of orange in it. And then this. I went with this. I don't know. No real reason. Just did. 1, 2, 3, 4. So one thing I do with these is lay out the bolts how they were in here, because sometimes they're different lengths. Now I know it comes with different bolts, but based off these sizes, you kind of correlate the old bolts with the new bolts, see which ones should be longer or shorter, and put them in respectively. All right, not as blingy as the other side, but it's okay. Just protecting the engine. Daddy. Yeah. Brap. Nice. Good job, boys. All right, I muted this part. My boys are making a bunch of noise in the background, but I like to put some silicone grease on the inside of these hoses. Just makes them slip on a lot easier. Yeah. Now that the hoses are in and the dampener's on, let's go ahead and get this radiator guard mocked up. We're just going to do the zip tie top portion, and then the bottom portion is loose so that we can do the exhaust headers next, because they tie into the actual radiator support mounts on the bottom. Now my fear is this might impact the range of motion that I was just messing with on the dampener, because it's already super close to the radiator, but there's really not much else, not much more room I can finagle it or adjust it so that it has a higher clearance. I may just have to bank on the fact that it's a race bike and I won't be going to full lock, but in the event of a crash, it could spell bad news for my radiator if the steering dampener just decides to go through it. Like that, I think. Okay, now before we get the next one in, let's go ahead and put our O2 sensors in. The tune I'm going with, I believe I'm going to retain the O2 sensors. I'll still be able to get the flash tune that I need to make some more power. So I'm going to loosen a good amount of spin there, and then reinstall so that by the time they're tight, the idea is that they'll be straight. So a little off-camera action, but got the headers installed on the Akrapovic exhaust. The O2 sensors probably don't line up quite where the factory locations did, so there's a little bit of weirdness going on with the lines, a little bit of slack, but I got them straight for the most part. They should be fine. Now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and snug up the radiator and radiator guard before we move on to the rest of the exhaust. Mid pipe, no cat, super light, titanium. I guess the freaking, oh, I don't want to break them. They need to, yeah. All right. So now that I put that on how I was supposed to in the first place, a little bit looser, it all marries up. Amazing. Okay. There we go. Oh, look at that. Okay. All right, so what do we do today? We got lever guard, grip protectors. We got the Matrice steering dampener on there, courtesy of Moto D. Very nice piece. Worked with the clearances, so it clears both sides. Got the radiator guard on there, the Samco silicone hoses. Got the stator cover engine protection on that side. Got the titanium bolts in on the caliper, Samco hose, clutch cover, engine protection. Got the full Acro titanium exhaust in. Oh, and then I attempted to do the remote brake lever adjuster, but I only mounted it with the adjustment wheel. We're gonna have to cut this to length, and I'm not sure how this is gonna work. My thought process, so I think this is actually made, looking at the instructions, it's made for a different lever, so it didn't come with the right adapter that I need for it. Based on this adapter here, this guy will still fit in there, at least the threaded piece, and it goes all the way in up to this part of the cylinder here. So my thought process is cut this to length first and foremost, and then I'm gonna probably do a separate hole, not drill that one out because it's so close to the edge, but I'll drill another hole here. I'll put this in this little adapter in the vise, remove this set screw, put it in the vise, drill another hole the size of that set screw, tap it, and then get another set screw from the hardware store and lock that baby in there, and it should be able to turn this guy to adjust the lever as you can stock. Just being able to do it much better on the fly with the actual wheel that just turns this thread here like so. So yeah, that's another project for a future date. Got to order some more parts because, as with most any bike build, at least for me, I go through, start building stuff up, and I've been slowly making an additional list on my phone of more things I need to buy. So yeah, just money, you know, no big deal. All right, sweet. See you guys for the next part.